Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 29th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today has gone pretty well. We'll say I've been a little bit tired, but overall, we've been motoring on, keeping through. Um, let's see. I feel like today, it was lazy Sunday style. I woke up a little bit later than maybe I liked, but I got at it pretty quick. I think we were at the grocery store maybe around 11 or so. So we got through that okay. Um, Came back home to my home workout. We did some gym time. And now we're more or less here. So yeah, today was nice. It was solid. I got my groceries. Oh, I already said that. I already said the groceries were done. So yeah, very productive. Oh, and then I had to run and pick up a few things like some incense and a bit of alcohol for the week. But yeah, no, overall it's been a good day, very solid. I'm definitely ready to eat. I haven't really had anything other than a handful of hot tamales, um, the candy. I wish I had a handful of actual hot tamales. That'd be cool. But anyway, let's see. What was the food corner last night? What did we do last night? All right, let me get into that. So last night went down to Northside. It was very nice. It was very fun. My friends were there. I got to hang out with my friends, have a good time. Um, the food was chameleon. I've been pretty much keeping that consistent lately. I guess that's because we don't have Domino's, Pizza Fridays anymore. I feel like that's more or less a thing of the past, sadly. R.I.P. So I'm more inclined to want to eat pizza on Saturday. If I'm going to be in Northside and there's a good pizza place right there. So yeah, we got couple slices, I should say maybe, of pizza. I got the Bianca of the day, and it had bacon on it, onion, and like these whole little cherry tomatoes, I believe, or something to that effect. And it was really good. It was really yummy. Um, and then I just got a slice of pepperoni. So overall, that went well. That was good. I think what do we wind up? We wound up closing the night, coming back home full circle, at least to my friend's house, and he had some. I think it was some bean burritos. They might have had some beef in there too, but I think they were just bean burritos. And that was kind of clutch. It was nice. We love a little burrito treat, little snack. But yeah, we had a good time, a good night. Really enjoyed myself. And like I said, Sunday has been good. It's been solid. I'm fiending for a nap, but I think I'm gonna try to hold out and just stay up. But pray for my sleep schedule. Y'all know I'm bad on the weekends. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and then we can get into some news. All right, all right, all right. Our first story comes from the Associated Press. Jetliner skids off runway and bursts into flames while landing in South Korea, killing 179. A jetliner skidded off the runway, slammed into a concrete fence, and burst into flames in South Korea after its landing gear apparently failed to deploy. Excuse me. Failed to deploy. After, or all but two of the 181 on aboard were killed in one of the country's worst aviation disasters, officials said. The Boeing 737-800, operated by Jeju Air, arrived from Bangkok and crashed while attempting to land in the town of Muan, about 290 kilometers or 180 miles south of Seoul. Footage of the crash aired by South Korean television showed the plane skidding across the airstrip at high speed, evidently while with its landing gear still closed, and slamming into the wall, triggering an explosion and generating plumes of thick black smoke. The crash killed 179 people. The South Korean Fire Agency said emergency workers pulled 2 crew members to safety. They were conscious and did not appear to have any life-threatening injuries, health officials said. The chief of Muon Fire Station, Lee Jeong-hyun, told a televised briefing that the plane was completely destroyed, with only the tail assembly still recognizable in the wreckage. Officials were investigating the cause of the crash, including whether the aircraft was struck by birds. So, yet again, that's kind of a running motif here when we're talking about these planes, at least as of lately. The control tower issued a warning about birds to the plane shortly before it intended to land, and gave the crew permission to land in a different area. Transport Ministry officials said the crew sent out a distress signal shortly before the crash, officials said. Investigators retrieved the jet's flight data and cockpit voice recorders. It was said that it may take months to complete the probe into the crash. The runway will be closed until January 1st, the ministry said. Let's see here. I'm going to pull some more details out of here. Video of the crash indicated that the pilots did not deploy flaps or slats to slow the aircraft, suggesting a possible hydraulic failure. And they did not manually lower the landing gear, suggesting they did not have the time. Said John Cox, a retired airline pilot and CEO of Safety Operating Systems in St. Petersburg, Florida. Despite that, the jetliner was under control and traveling in a straight line, and damage and injuries likely would have been minimized if not for a barrier being so close to the runway, Cox said. But yeah, this is a very unfortunate event. I know that there's been a lot of the families of the victims. They came to the Muon airport, to see what was going on, the fate of their loved one. And, more or less it just kind of became a thing where they were just kind of waiting to get the call, because everyone knew that it's pretty much all but 2 people died out on board, but people are still kind of waiting to get that, okay, I need to hear the person. I need to hear my person was actually there, and, they didn't make it. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty sad, desolate kind of situation there, I would imagine. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and keep scrolling ahead. The Boeing 737-800 is a proven airplane that belongs to a different class of aircraft to the Boeing 737 MAX. The jetliner that was linked to the fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019. More than 4,500 planes. 4,500 of the planes are in service around the world, according to the aviation analytics company Cirium. They talked about one of the survivors as well, having fractures to his ribs, shoulder blades, and upper spine. And he wound up waking up to find out that he had been rescued. So that would be pretty harrowing and surprising. There were predominantly only South Koreans on the plane, outside of 2 people from Thailand. Trying to see what other facts I wanted to pull out of this. Here we go. We'll start here. The crash happened as South Korea is embroiled in a political crisis triggered by President Yoon Suk-yeol's stunning imposition of martial law and ensuing impeachment. South Korean lawmakers on Friday impeached acting President Han Duck-seo and suspended his duties, leading Deputy Prime Minister Choi Sang-mok to take over. So he has, requested all available resources to identify the dead as soon as possible. And the government declared Muon a special disaster zone and designated a week-long national mourning period. Trying to see here. Is there anything else? I'll go ahead and read this part too. In a televised news conference, the company's president, Kim Il-bae, bowed deeply with other senior company officials as he apologized to the bereaved families and said he feels full responsibility for the crash. He said the company had not identified any mechanical problems with the aircraft following regular checkups, and that he would have to wait that he would wait for the results of government investigations. So there we go. I will keep you guys posted on this crash, this disaster. If there's going to be any like more fallout or any more, updates. But yeah, we will see. The next story is weather related from CNN. At least 3 people. Oh, speaking of weather, I didn't mention this last night. Sorry, random second. I guess we can kind of lighten it with my day last night, whatever. I would say the only problem last night, because I really had a fun time. It was nice hitting it and all that. It was so rainy, or at least it got so rainy. Like, I had read the forecast, like I felt like the percentages were pretty low when I had checked it out. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll be comfy cozy, wear my little Ugg boots. And it just was flooding. It was just water everywhere. So I was not stoked about that. I was splish splashing around. I was like a wet cat. That's how I felt at the end of the day. It literally got so bad that I had to, like, at the end of the night, we were like kind of having like a nightcap outside, and I asked my friend, I'm like, dude, can I like swap jackets? Can I use not swap jackets with him? Like, can I get like a jacket from your house or something? Because this Bass Pro hoodie is just, it's toast right now. I can't. This isn't working. I'm sopping wet. I'm soaking wet. Anyway, saying that to segue into this, at least 3 people have died as severe weather threat moves east after tornado spawning storms pummeled Texas and Mississippi. At least 3 people have died as severe thunderstorms batter the southeast and east coast on Sunday after deadly tornado spawning storms tore through Texas and Mississippi, ripping off roofs and flattening homes. A high school student in Natchez, Mississippi, died after a tree fell on a home. Adams County emergency officials said Saturday. Another person died in northern Brazoria County, Texas, where a tornado touched down in 4 separate locations, according to Sheriff Bo Stallman. A third person was killed when a tree fell onto a vehicle in North Carolina on Sunday, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell told CNN. Let's see here. So yeah, it looks like so far, like, the damage is pretty extensive. We're talking tornadoes, we're talking just severe storms. Let's see. Actually, I just want to go ahead and get to the end. Tornadoes are much less common in the U.S. during December, averaging only around 40 compared to the nearly 270 seen on average in May. This year, however, there have been 1,783 tornado reports as of December 27th, well above the average of 1,347 reports. So yeah, we will see. I'll keep you posted if I hear any more big highlights or blips out of any of the storms potentially this weekend or into this week. Any aftermath on that. But yeah, let's move on from that story. Let's get a little oh shit. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I just got some breaking news. And we're gonna take a smoke break early. Wow. Okay, this is weird. This is like the first time this has kind of ever happened. But yeah, y'all. Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, Mr. Peanut himself, has died at the age of 100. And it's crazy for me to actually say I'm surprised by this because he's been so old, y'all. He's been in hospice for a while now, which is crazy to be in hospice for a while, in my opinion. But hey, these things happen, and it's good, I guess, to say, hey, you lived as long as you could. You really rode the horse until you ran out of gas. I don't know, whatever. Terrible analogy here. But yeah, he bit the big one. Big one in the sky. So yeah, R.I.P. or whatever. I'm not a huge Jimmy Carter hater, but at the same time, he was a president. He did what he did. A lot of shit here and there. But yeah, there you go. Well, this one's for you, Jimmy. Damn, had to pop one early. I really did not expect that. From NBC News, Two Oregon men die from exposure in a forest after they went out to look for Sasquatch. So we're talking Sasquatch, baby. Two Oregon men were found dead in a Washington State forest after they failed to return from a trip to look for Sasquatch, authorities said Saturday. The 59-year-old and 37-year-old appear to have died from exposure, the Skamania County Sheriff's Office said via Facebook. The weather and men's lack of preparedness led the office to draw that conclusion, it said. I'm sorry, I feel like that's like a dig, but it's understandable why they're saying it this way. It's like, hey, like at the end of the day, there was bad weather happened. It looks like it took them by surprise. They didn't have the means to really, facilitate that. And, now they're gone. Now they're dead. But speaking a little bit on Sasquatch, Sasquatch is a folkloric beast thought by some to roam the forest, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. So I don't know if you're very familiar with like Bigfoot. I don't know, maybe there's going to be people who are offended by this, but I feel like Bigfoot and Sasquatch are pretty comparable. I feel like you could put a Venn diagram and there's definitely a lot to meet in the middle about the two of them in terms of cryptids. And hey, this isn't me trying to yuck anyone's fucking yum here. If you are a believer and this is your thing, by all means, awesome. Pursue that. Do your thing. At the end of the day, this is like a hobby like any other. But saying that, you definitely have to not take something like going out into the wilderness and potentially having to do some, survival. You're doing some camping, surely. Like, you can't take that lightly. That's for sure, right? I'm definitely not an expert on these things because I don't like to go out. I would never want to get put in a situation where I have to play survival. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to wind up fucking probably not alive. Sadly, I'm not going to make it, and I like a forest. I love a good hike, but I got to know my routes. I got to make sure I know I can get back and forth, right? But I mean, hey, if I'm being honest with you, I haven't done a hike in a very long time, but maybe that's something I should put on my list in 2025. Do a hike. I'm not trying to see Sasquatch or Bigfoot or, any kind of frogman. I feel like that's local for Ohio. But it's nice to see some sights, see some things, some scenic nature, if you will. But getting back to the article, the two men were found in a heavily wooded area of the Guilford-Pinchot National Forest, which is about 150 miles or 240 kilometers northeast of Portland. I was supposed to say Poland. Let's see here. Excuse me. A family member reported them missing at around 1 a.m. on Christmas Day after they failed to return from a Christmas Eve outing. 60 volunteer search and rescue personnel helped in a 3-day search, including canine, drone, and ground teams. The Coast Guard used infrared technology to search from the air. Authorities used camera recordings to locate the vehicle used by the pair off Oklahoma Road near Willard, which is on the southern border of the National Forest. So yeah, RIP to those guys. At least they died, pursuing something that they cared about. I mean, I would assume they loved. I mean, hopefully they really would love to see Sasquatch. And I don't know, what would you do if you meet him, right? I feel like you're not trying to communicate with the Sasquatch because they would probably want to fuck you up, right? Like they probably wouldn't like you. But I don't know. I don't know the rules on cryptids. Like, I listen to a little bit of lore here and there. But look, I'm not trying to dabble with these things. No way, no how. But yeah, let's close it with something political. Actually, switching it up a bit. But this is a bit of an odd episode. Normally, I don't get like actual like breaking news. Like, oh shit, like I didn't expect to even talk about that. Yeah, damn. Jimmy Carter. Anywho, we have one more break. And then we'll go ahead and close it out for the day, for the episode. Okay. From the BBC, Georgia's outgoing president refuses to quit as successor sworn in. Thousands of Georgians protested in the capital, Tbilisi, as a new president aligned with the ruling Georgian Dream Party was inaugurated. Michel Kavelashvili, a former pro footballer, which I'm believing at his soccer, has been sworn in during a critical period for the country after the government suspended its application to join the European Union. Georgian Dream won parliamentary elections in October, but the victory was mired in allegations of fraud, which have since sparked several protests. Which I want to add here, I do believe, I know we've talked about this a bit here and there, I definitely am with the people on this. I can understand why they're saying, hey, it doesn't feel like our vote was really counted or counted. It felt like there was a lot of factors at play. It felt like Russia had a hand in this, and we've been slighted as a country. And now, our country is backsliding in a way that we don't want. So I can understand the unrest. I'm with that, completely understand. And I need to preface that as we continue here. Outgoing President Salom Zurabishvili refused to step down on Sunday, saying she was the only legitimate president. Essentially, I do feel like, though, we have the situation here because there's just not enough political will by the opponents of the Georgian Dream Party to stop what is happening here. Like, you do not have the means to protest the Georgian Dream. You do not have the ability to protest the election, even though you feel like, hey, we can show all of this. You cannot put it to a prosecution that isn't aligned with the Georgian Dream. So it's just not going anywhere. They're not taking it up. And so this idea of saying, it's actually, I'm the only one, I'm the only president, but you're saying this as you're leaving, as the new guy is being sworn in, like, okay, I feel you, I hear you, and I hear the people, most importantly, but it doesn't sound like, once again, there's enough political will to make that a reality. The reality is what it fucking is. You got this guy who, I kind of think he sounds like a piece of shit. He's like 53, which obviously is pretty young for politics. But he is now, the president of of Georgia. He's going to be pushing, let's see, I guess we can just read here. Speaking after taking the oath, Kavelashvili went on to praise Georgian traditions, values, national identity, and the sanctity of the family and faith. Our history clearly shows that after countless struggles to defend our homeland and traditions, peace has always been one of the main goals and values of the Georgian people, he said. Georgia's four main opposition groups have rejected Kavelashvili and boycotted parliament. Kavelashvili is a former MP with the Georgian Dream Party and was the only candidate for the job. Zurabishvili has previously denounced his election as a travesty. Now, they have been cracking down on non-government groups who receive funding and the LGBT community. They have been passing Russian-style laws, that are targeting media as well as those other groups I just mentioned. They are essentially, another thing we've talked about before, trying to stop any kind of EU accession talks and things of that nature, which has only riled up protests more, and now they're kind of being a little weird about it, what they really exactly want, but it sounds like maybe the second things kind of clear out, they're going to try to push this shit. So, once again, I can understand why the people are very upset, why they're out in protest and out in numbers on a daily fucking basis. It's just a shame that they cannot turn that into any kind of change for what they want. You know what I mean? So we do hate to see that. And, it is always a weird, awkward situation when you have, a party or at least something there that was like, hey, we at least have this kind of status quo. And now with this new guy, we really are losing all of that, if, it feels or it seems. So, my heart goes out to the people on that. But yeah, on that note, I think we will go ahead and close it out. Let's see here. There's no shilling on Sunday. Try to not do that. So I'm just going to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.